Nervous Young Inhumans is one of my favorite songs off of both of the Twin Fantasy albums. However, I do have a problem with the song, and that is the music video that came out with the face-to-face version of the song. I don't think it's a terrible music video, okay? I'm not trying to bash Will and his directing skills, even though his creative decisions are sometimes a bit strange. Personally, I like a little bit of story to some music videos, and there's nothing wrong with a video of someone just dancing. I mean, take a look at Lotus Flower, for example. That's a great video of someone just dancing. I do think there is definitely some charm to the Nervous Young Inhumans music video, but I think that there could be a better story developed within the song. I think it was a little bit of a missed opportunity for a music video. So I took matters into my own hands and I came up with a complete outline for a music video for this song, and I'm gonna pitch it to you guys today. Pretend like we're in a boardroom. You guys are Matador Records. William Toledo sitting right next to you, and I got my PowerPoint presentation set up to pitch this music video idea to you guys. So the music video takes place in a high school gymnasium, and there's basically some sort of like prom or homecoming happening, and our main protagonist, we're gonna call him Bill, is basically dressed up in a nice little suit, you know, because he's getting ready to go to this high school dance, you know. During that first little intro of the song, the first 5 seconds where there's like the little like glitchy guitar riff, it's like that part of the song. Basically we got Bill standing there in an empty gymnasium with the spotlight shining down on him, and we can either start the same way as the original music video with him just like tapping his foot and the shot of him tapping his foot, or we can get a nice shot of him just bopping his head to the intro of the song, getting ready to move and groove, I guess. So that's the intro of the song. Then boom, more instrumentation comes in, the synth comes in, and it's super epic and cool. And then we have a harsh cut. There's still the spotlight shining down on young Billiam, but now there's a crowd of people behind him just kind of standing there watching him as he dances freely. He's just dancing to the music, doing some wonky dances. As the song progresses, with each little like synth rise, with like the with each little synth rise, there's a change in the shot. Basically, the shot is changing from Billiam dancing in front of a crowd and Billiam dancing not in front of a crowd. There's like 2 measures of that or whatever, and then the extra guitars come into the track. At this point we get a harsh cut. There's all these people dancing around like a high school prom or whatever. They're dancing, they're jumping up and down. Bill is trying to get through the crowd, anxiously like crawling around through, well, not crawling, but anxiously making his way through the crowd as he gets like bumped and tossed around. He's looking pretty claustrophobic, and he's trying to go somewhere that's not the crowd. And then we also get some shots sprinkled in there of Billiam once again dancing in front of the crowd with the spotlight shining on him as if there's no one watching. So it cuts between like that shot and then the shot of him like climbing through the crowd of people. With each shot of him dancing in front of the crowd of people, the crowd of people like close in on him with each shot. And then towards the end of that intro, where basically where Will goes, "Ew," we see Bill barge into a bathroom stall, and he takes a little bit of a breather. So after Bill has his little breather, that's when the first verse starts. Bill is down on the toilet. Here's the toilet in front of him, and he's like looking down, and then he looks up directly at us, and he starts singing about his cursive. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, by the way, Will, if you're watching this and you want to play the part of Bill, you can most definitely play the part of Bill, but it doesn't have to be played by you if you don't want it to be played by you. But basically, he's singing. Once that first line ends, he has like a little bit of a breather moment, and then we cut to a shot of him in a sink, or not in a sink, but like in front of a sink, in front of a mirror, splashing water into his face, and he's looking at us through the mirror as he talks about his P's and Q's. And then the first chorus happens, and for this scene, we've got a shot of Mr. Bill sitting down on the high school bleachers, and this is a faraway shot, so like he's probably like he's like right here or whatever, and then the camera's like all the way right there, like on the other side of the gymnasium basically, and there's people in the middle of the gymnasium dancing and like jumping up and down and stuff like that, but there's a clear pathway of like there's basically the Red Sea has been parted, so there's people on this side, there's people on this side, and Bill's just sitting there, and the camera slowly pans into him, and he's looking directly at us, and Billiam is singing that wonderful chorus. And then there's a little instrumental part that happens after the first chorus, and basically we got more shots of Billiam dancing in front of that crowd, then shots of him dancing not in front of a crowd, kind of flipping flopping between that. There's also cuts of him getting pushed around and tossed around by the crowd. Basically like the first shot of him trying to get through the crowd, but instead of him trying to get through the crowd, he's just kind of standing there. He's getting pushed around just like he's at a concert or something like that. When Will says art gets what it wants, basically there's a shot of him, Billiam, right in front of the camera, nothing else behind him, just darkness, but one single spotlight shining down on him, and then boom, art gets what it deserves. This dude's getting knocked around down, bro. He's not getting a break. And then the second verse starts. For this verse, we have alternating shots of Will, once again, sitting on the same bleachers that he was sitting on during the chorus, singing the lines. And then there's also a shot thrown in there of Bill in a black background with a spotlight shining down on him, but he's on like the right third of the screen, facing right there, but there's like this empty darkness right there, as if like somebody's supposed to be there. But when he says, you know, most of the time I'm singing about you, we get introduced to the second character of this story, someone named Jesse. It could be played by a boy or a girl, I don't really care. It could be played by a they, them, if they really want it to be. It doesn't matter. The first shot that we see of Jesse is basically sitting on the bleachers like Bill was during the chorus, but Jesse's on the opposite side of the bleachers. So basically, like, if you're looking at the gymnasium, Billiam's on this side, Jesse's on this side, we get a shot facing this way towards Jesse, you know. Jesse is staring directly at the camera, symbolizing that they're staring directly at Bill. And then we get to the second part of the second verse. This shot might be a little hard to pull off, but Will, trust me, I think I'd be able to do it. It might look a little janky if I do it, but I might be able to do it. Basically, we got a wide angle shot of the gymnasium. Bleacher on this side, bleacher on that side. We can have it either way, with people dancing in the middle or nobody dancing at all. Jesse's right here on this side. Bill's right here on this side. They're facing directly at each other, but it's a wide angle shot, so it shows like their separation. When Will says the line, let's meet up in Uncanny Valley, or whatever he says there, we go back to the shot of Bill facing this way with the darkness behind him, but now there's a person there, and he's singing to a person. The person is Jesse, and that person also happens to be singing the same line back to Bill. And then there's a little double clap thing before the chorus. We get little sputters of light. The camera moves back. They get in position. They get in position to do a dance. They're just dancing along to the song. They're not touching. They're still pretty separated, you know. They're doing the same dance, choreographed so nicely together. And then there's also a fun little light show going on behind them, kind of like to throw an ode to the original video, you know. So they're having a good time. They're dancing. And then when Will says, "You understand," a crowd of people magically pop up behind them as if they're just standing there watching them. And then they continue to dance as the extra instrumentation kind of gets added on, and there's like the little instrumental part. But then there's also shots sprinkled in there of both of them lost in the crowd, kind of trying to find their way out, kind of like how Bill was at the beginning of the video. We got shots of Jesse doing it, we got shots of Bill doing it, and then towards the end of the song we get two "You'll get what you want, you'll get what you deserves" from Will, our Lord and Savior, who blessed us with that line. During the first "You'll get what you want" line, we got the same shot as the Uncanny Valley shot. So we got Bill, we got Jesse, spotlight shining down on them, darkness behind them, they're screaming at each other. They're like, "You'll get what you want, you'll get what you deserve." And then we got more shots of them like finding their way through the crowd. And then during the second "You'll get what you want, you'll get what you deserve," they finally find each other. They're face to face in the middle of this entire crowd, and they're screaming at each other, "You'll get what you want, you'll get what you deserve." However, this time the crowd of people finally acknowledges them. Once they scream at each other face to face in the crowd's kind of looking like, what the fuck? They're a little off put by it, a little shocked, a little like disgusted. They're like, why are they screaming at our prom, dude? And then as the song calms down, Jesse turns around, runs away, and Bill just kind of sits there ashamed as the crowd starts going back to what they were doing. And then the song ends because they didn't do the monologue in the original music video, so I'm not gonna do it in this music video. If you really want it, we could just have shots of Bill just saying it in the middle of this crowd as he's getting pushed around or something like that. I didn't give it much thought. I actually just came up with that on the spot. Well, if you somehow come across this video and you want to talk business with me, then let me interview you. We could talk business about making this video a reality. I had a lot of fun making this video. If you want to see a video about how I'm going to interview Will Toledo by the end of this year, you can click that video right there, and I will see you guys in the next video.